Liverpool nil, Manchester United nil, but it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the Red Devils that stay top of the Premier League. A man of the match performance from Luke Shaw today, nullifying one of the most potent and one of the best attacking players in the Premier League of the past 4 to 5 years. A better result for Manchester United. It's the positive result that was required. An early 20-minute onslaught from Liverpool, no doubt about it whatsoever. The two biggest chances of the game falling to Man United as well. Bruno Fernandes having his shot wonderfully saved by Alisson, and Paul Pogba the same. Both unlucky not to steal it at the death. The tactics were right by Ollie. The team he picked almost got the job done. If the players finish those chances, we walk away with all 3 points. Liverpool, though, Liverpool will be feeling frustrated with this. 3 games on the bounce without scoring a goal in the Premier League now for Liverpool Football Club. That isn't a good look for the defending champions and needs to be resolved quickly. Man United move on to 37 points. But I suppose the biggest winners today are going to be Manchester City. There's going to be lots to pick the bones over with this. We're going to get the panel on for you very soon, but smash the like button now, people. We want your points of view. We want to know what you're thinking, feeling, and saying. But big shout out to our title sponsors today, Manscaped, the #1 leading company in the world for men's grooming. There's a link to their website in the description below and a promo code TFT, the Football Terrace, for a 20% discount. You can buy all sorts of products there. Some that are sent through to us here. We have the Weed Whacker. This is for that horrible nose and ear hair. What we also have in this lovely box, and you can order this for yourselves. Look at this bad boy. We're going to give this away to one of our lucky viewers. It says it on the inside. Your balls will thank you. It's the complete kit with the trimmer, the boxes, the case. You've also got here the ball toner. The ball toner is available as well. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Go and check this out after the game. Go and use the links below and our promo code TFT. This is amazing. We'll go through it in a little bit more detail later. But trust me, geezers. Trust me. Your ladies are going to love it. Dolphins nose, my brother. Super chat here from the Devil's Advocate says, point is justified. We needed the point more than Klopp. We nullified their attack. We did. Luke Shaw, Lindelof, our defenders, all of them were amazing today and all had little bits, all had little moments in the game where they stopped this Liverpool attacking three, who for me as a collective looked done. They looked done at the highest level, those three, but we'll get your calls a little bit later. Man United bottled 3 good chances. Rashford passed to Cavani. Liverpool had 0 creativity except that spectacular Thiago shot, nothing else. I wouldn't say bottled the chances. Alisson made 2 good saves. Rashford was interesting. I screamed at Rashford for not passing the ball. And then you listen to the 2 defenders in commentary, Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville. They said the run wasn't to receive the ball. It was to Paul Fabinho, who got pulled and spun and recovered. If you're a Man United fan, it's Rashford should have shot. If you're a Liverpool fan, it's what great defending. That's how close these games are. Man United, though, for me, I think if Man United would have won the game today, I think that would have been the fairest result, but you don't always get what you want. Ollie, for me, nullified and stopped the best team in England of the last 3 years, the so-called best team in the world. D1 here says, Bruno Fernandes had an absolute stinker. Make sure you speak about his Kepa moment. I mean, look, he didn't have a great game today, Bruno Fernandes, by any stretch of the imagination. And I'll say that. But that's the level of the criticism he's going to get because he's been so amazing for us over the last 12 months. And barring a world-class save from Liverpool's goalkeeper, he would have won Manchester United the match. So, yes, not a great game today. But I'm not going to rip into him for that. Paul Pogba today, amazing. We'll celebrate that. Luke Shaw, amazing. We'll celebrate that. Lindelof block that nearly led to that counter, amazing. We'll also look at the Maguire block to stop Fabinho scoring. Great. Thiago deserves credit for his performance today. I think Fabinho and Henderson at the back for Liverpool deserve a lot of credit. Robertson, yes. Need I say less about Trent, who seems to be having a right nightmare right now. Felix says, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm very frustrated with the lack of forward passes, with the amount of runs being made. Man United fans should be happy you're top, but should have won. Like I said, hindsight's lucrative. I would have taken this positive result before kickoff today. If you offered me a point, I'd have taken it. I'm going to stand by my guns. Jeremy, one of our members, says, good evening, Terry. Hope you're well. A lack of finishing cost us, plus having 7 offsides in the first half. Absolutely. And on those, by the way, when we hit 10 minutes, we're getting the panel on. hit the like and share button, people. It's really important that you all keep doing that. Share this on your social media platforms. On those offsides, yes, 3 or 4 times Rashford goes too early. On other occasions, our players lack that pass. Just didn't quite happen. What I would also say is this, and I stand by this when I say it. Man United, for me, still lack that belief today. We had to bury down the hatchets in the first 15, 20 minutes. That's normal when you go to Anfield. It's been the same for 30 years. Let's not get twisted. I think we lack the belief. And as the game grew, you saw that coming to within us. I think that's part of a barrier cleared for us. I think they'll leave and kick themselves and say, we could have actually done this. We could have actually beaten them. And that's the mental change that you need. You don't always need to win to get that change. Sometimes a draw or a defeat can be more beneficial to a team than a win when it comes to the psychological game. But the fact of the matter remain, Man United stay top, and that's our hardest game of the season done with. The Devil's Advocate says, personally, I wouldn't say advantage City. Look at their next 5 or 6 games compared to City. They have the likes of Liverpool, Spurs, and Arsenal. Very true. And what Man United have coming next is Fulham and Sheffield United. Now, they're as close to bankers as you can get in the Premier League. That cannot be taken outside. That can't be taken out of consideration today. That's who we play next. For me, that's 6 points. That takes us to 44 points. That puts us in a brilliant position moving into the crunch end and the back end of the season. Absolutely right there, Devil's Advocate, in what you say. Josh here says, Rashford's blindness for Cavani's square makes me wonder what could have been. Fair result and happy to stay on top for now. Do you know what? I agree with you. If Rashford plays that pass, what could have been? If Bruno actually slightly scuffs his shot and it goes nearer towards the goalie, it goes through his legs. If Pogba put a bit more of an angle on his shot. But what if AWB's tackle from behind on Mane clips his leg and he gets a penalty? What if Maguire's positioning wasn't perfect to get a block on Fabinho's shot? You know, what ifs can work in both directions. What happened. Man United stayed top. I said the other day, and I've got to stand by my guns, a positive result was the most important thing to come out of this match, and Manchester United got it. Smash that like and share button. We're going to open up the lines for you all to call in soon. Our attack was terrible today. Man United's attack, I would say terrible is a bit harsh. I would say it was below par, would be how I would describe it. Had no faith in scoring today. LFC's attack is dead. I mean, Liverpool's attack is certainly worse than Manchester United's today. And they're the best front three in the world. Best front three in the world. Best front three in the world. There we go. We're going to get the panel on now for you all. Make sure you're hitting that like and share button. And as I said, check out the Manscaped offer in the description below. The #1 men's grooming site and platform and product in the world. I know a lot of guys are going, well, I don't need that. I don't need that. The missus don't want it. Trust me, she wants it. Trust me, you're going to use it once and be like, what have I been missing? Trust me, bruv. That's, you know, when you wash a plate up and you run your finger down it, you need it, bruv. Trust me. None of that gristle thing, bruv. Let's get the panel on. Hit the like and share button. Just a reminder to anyone who's feeling negative. We're top of the league. We're top of the league. Starting off here with a man like Neeks. We've got Alfie and we've got KJ in the house. Boys, not the result we would have dreamt for or wanted, but we stayed top. We didn't lose. Could have won the game. Give me your thoughts. I'll start with Neeks.
Yeah, I think it's a good point in the grand scheme of things. Listen, we're top of the league. Liverpool are champions. We're going to Anfield where they haven't lost in what now is 68 games, 3 years. We're still yet to lose away from home since we signed Bruno Fernandes, and we've got the points on the board, and we are, without a shadow of a doubt, in this title race. There's no questions about it. I think, yes, we could have won the game, but equally, you know, I think it was probably more to do with our bad, maybe finishing and decision-making, why we didn't score. Whereas Liverpool, I think it was to do with our good defending, why they didn't score. So, you know, I think on the balance of play over 90 minutes, you might say, you know what, we could have won that game. But people said the same thing after we drew 0-0 with Man City at home. And I said the same thing that I'm saying now. They're a good side. You can't take that away. It's a good point, and we're still top of the league. We keep going. And I think the next 2 games, we win those. And this point either becomes a good point, or you it just fades away. It's just a result, and we're still unbeaten. I don't think there's any reason to be overly excited or overly disappointed. So
I get that. I see you shaking your head there, Alfie. What are you saying?
Nah, bruv. No, bruv. I'm pissed off. I don't know. No, I know there's plenty of reason to be we're top of the league. Yes, we are top of the league. We are top. Yeah, still looking down on everyone, no problem. Yeah. But I'm pissed off.
Why?
That is a winnable game. We went there with their front three, some old men, yeah, broke back mountain, bruv. Our attack is better than theirs. Yes, I understand, but look, yeah, the facts are facts. They are a declining team. No one said they're not a good team still, but they are a declining team, and we needed to take advantage today.
Alfie, every game is a winnable game, but you're not going to win every game in the Premier League.
That's what. But I'm pissed off. Do you know why? Because we had the best chances to win the game.
We did.
We did. And if we didn't have that, I would be all right sitting here saying, you know what, they were the better team, or you know what, they had the better chances, or you know what, like fine, I'll take a draw. I can't take a draw seeing the poor performance from Bruno today, that he should have made the pass, poor performance from Rashford today, yeah? And it took us, as soon as Cavani came on, we opened up space, we opened them up, the middle was open and you saw it. We had every opportunity, we should have killed that game off. It had 1-0 written all over it. It didn't come to my prediction, but it had 1-0 written all over it. And I am pissed off. I'm pissed off. No, we should have won it.
I get that, but like we were pissed off against Man City when we drew 0-0, and that turned out to be a good point. Like you look at the grand scheme of things in this game, yes, we had two of the best chances, 2 good saves in my opinion from Alisson, and then we had that opportunity with Rashford, and he didn't make the pass. But coming into this game against the champions, a team with one of the best home records, a record-breaking home record in the Premier League, going in and expecting to just blow them away and smash them, it was unrealistic.
It's foolhardy, KJ.
It's unrealistic. And today,
cool. Look. In the grand scheme of things, KJ, I understand. I'm not sat here saying the Man City result was a bad result or the Chelsea result was a bad result. We were vulnerable at that time on a very difficult run. So the fact that we managed to get 2 points out of those 2 games against 2 top teams, yeah, when they were on form or coming on form, I'm not taking anything away from that, yeah, but. You can say things like that. You know, when you say things like, if you gave us a point before the game, we'd snap your hand off, yeah? That's looking at it from another perspective. I'm looking at it from after seeing the game, we could have won it, so I am pissed off. Yeah, I'm talking about today and today only.
Guys, I hear what you're saying, Alfie. I suppose everyone looks at football different. That's why we're going to why we have a panel of different views, why we're going to take calls from people. I was more angry after the City game because I felt we didn't try to win it. Where today, we had a couple of really good opportunities that we didn't take. And the only person I feel sorry for in the Man United sphere is Ollie today, because the starting lineup and the team and the sub, everything worked out well. I get everyone said when Cavani came on, it opened up. There is no way of knowing whether you start with him, whether it's that open. What happened?
But Terry, also, the point you bring on... Sorry, go on, carry on.
Even Pogba being on the right-hand side, he was there for that opportunity and should have buried it for me. And it is hard to take, and I get your point, Alfie. But at the same time, you go away to Anfield, you pick up a point, you stay top of the league. I still think we walk away from this positive. You're going to make a point there at Neeks.
Yeah, because we bring on Cavani, we open up the game and we create more chances, correct. But they also created more openings when we decided to go for a bit more. Trent had a couple crosses from the right-hand side, which Maguire was there to block, Lindelof was there to block. Yeah. So it's like, yes, we could have, and we probably we should have scored with the chances that we had. Don't get it twisted, we should have. But it wasn't a case of, for me, we should have started the game how we ended it, because they can create chances. They dominated the first 20 minutes. It was a game plan, of course, allow them to have the ball and grow into the game. I think they dominated the ball. We had the better chances. A draw, for me, was the fair result. Yes, we could have won it. But Liverpool may look at it like, damn, if Firmino had his shooting boots on today, I mean...
We could have won it too.
To be fair, we could have won it. I think there's no need to get angry about the result. That's what
I said... Like to the build-up, for me, the result wasn't the most important thing. It was performance, and the performance I saw today was a solid back line, midfield battling, and the forward line making opportunities. Yes, they could have been better, and we should have maybe scored a goal. But we've seen it. We've been to Anfield before, and we've seen none of that. We just roll over and just get absolutely trampled by Liverpool. Today's performance.
Something very important when you say roll over, yeah. I was looking at the stats today before the game Ollie's had 3 attempts prior to today. 3 attempts against Liverpool, 2 draws, which is a good result against what was a ridiculously fantastic Liverpool team over the last 2 seasons. Yeah. And that game that we were chasing the 1-0 when they were leading, when we went all out right at the end, they scored the second goal. Yeah. When you look at those performances. So really, this falls in line with the way that we've been.
No, I get that, guys. Look, I've got to do these super chats. We've got to keep this moving. It says, can Rashford learn how to pass? Cavani was making a run for him. I don't blame Cavani for being pissed. We need a real winger who isn't selfish in Grealish. Listen, Grealish is amazing. Do you know what I love about football fans is this? If Rashford plays the pass and Fabinho then stops Cavani getting a shot off, people would have said, why did he pass? Why didn't he make the run on the inside? Cavani made space for him. That's what I love about football fans is depending on what happens, you see it a particular way. For me, great defending by Fabinho to recover because he looked all twisted and he managed.
But more than the recovery, if you actually watch it, his positioning when Rashford was running was very good because he was blocking off the original passing lane for Rashford. Cavani had to make the inside run, and of course he could have slipped inside, and Cavani may have scored. But when Cavani makes that run, the open should be there on the right, and then Fabinho recovers. So it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other.
No, I get that, and there was 2 other good opportunities in the game created, all that stemmed through Rashford passes. So I won't reduce Rashford's game down to that. It's like reducing Pogba's excellent performance today down to that one miss. I think it'd be unfair. Gag here says Luke Shaw was your man of the match. Alisson and Fabinho were ours. Both teams failed to make their chances. You lot look in the second half and us were better in the first half. Firmino was so frustrating. It's becoming a joke. Listen, he missed 3 good opportunities and I get why you'd be frustrated. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm also focusing on Mane. Mane, again, for me, was an absolute passenger for you out there. He truly, truly was. Man like Zane's in the house here says, Liverpool, what an embarrassment you are. We beat them. And we beat them, and we'll beat them again at the Emirates. Zane is back, ladies and gentlemen. I miss this guy. He's not on as many streams as he used to be, but I miss this guy. Gregory.
Terry, can we mention how Luke Shaw has Salah in his pocket again? Do you know how many games that is now?
Bro,
do you know how many games?
Luke Shaw's taking him on and putting him on the barbecue, bro, 100%. Given Liverpool's crazy pressing, starting Victor over Bailly was a very clever move. Bailly has been more
Can we take a minute? Can we take a minute to talk about Lindelof, please? Because this guy deserves some serious credit. I was a bit angry before the game. Saw the starting lineup. I'm sure all of you were thinking, what? No Bailly in a game like this against Liverpool. But Lindelof, well done. Like genuinely well done. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 performance, but what he showed today was when he's on his game, he's not as trash as we've been saying. He's not as trash.
He's a good centre back on his day.
Someone says here, if Mourinho does this, he is praised. So this is a positive. Listen, as we've said about Mourinho in the past, when you do it away at Anfield, you praise it. When you do it at home to Burnley, you get annoyed about it. I think that's my view there. Paul Ross says Firmino forgot to brush his teeth to score. Another one here says a point at Anfield will always be a good result. On to hopefully 6 points from Fulham and Sheffield United. That's how you build a title. And I think you do. And I think that needs to always be taken into consideration. Final super chat before we grow the board here. 2 more super chats, sorry. I would have taken Rashford off, rather Rashford off than Martial. Martial just returning after injury. I think that's what predicated that, to be honest with you. But I hit from a form point of view. I totally understand it as well. Let's add some Liverpool fans in. We have got a few United fans waiting as well. We're going to get Cam. We're going to get Chucky on. But we're going to add into this man like Stroh, and we're going to add O'Shea into the mix. We're going to go to Stroh first of all. What did you make of Liverpool's performance tonight, mate?
First half, I thought we were the better team. Firmino again. I'm sorry, but I've lost count how many times we get into good opportunities. And the one where he tries to, when Mane makes the run, Shaqiri slips the ball in. He's got Robertson on the overlap. Composure. Just control yourself, relax yourself, lay the ball off to Robertson. Robertson can come on and shoot. We had the better opportunities in the first half. For me, United, it was there for the taking for you. All I heard, all the lead up from the man on the show now to other United fans was, if you play Henderson at centre back, it's going to be 5-1, it's going to be 4-1. You man have a dead team. You made Henderson look like an accomplished centre back. He had a good game, against what you are telling me is a better attack than ours. It doesn't make sense. Something doesn't add up for me.
Well, I'll
So
tell you
it's
what.
either, so it's either the disrespect to Liverpool, or it's so what is it?
But in fairness, we created 2 goal-scoring opportunities that your goalie pulled off brilliant saves. So
But at the same time, Terry, you're saying that Salah got pocketed, which he didn't have a good game, but he created chances as well. So it works both ways. All I'm saying is I just want the same energy from everyone.
Look, for me, it's this: that Man United was sloppy in front of goal today, but you're the best team in the world, with the best manager in the world, with the best front three in the world. So when the best front three in the world is nullified by a fridge and by an overweight Big Mac eating Luke Shaw, that's far more embarrassing. And by the way, like Fabinho was a defender ever before he was a midfielder, and Henderson is regarded as one of the best players in the league. In fact, some of your fans have said he's one of the best midfielders in Premier League history. So I expect someone like that to be able to operate for a game. And it weren't like we were onslaught all out attacking you as well. But when we countered, we did open you up. We just didn't finish our dinner. And that wasn't because of Henderson. It was Fabinho and your goalkeeper.
That's the point that I'm making. That's the point that I was trying to make, was all I heard throughout it was, if Henderson plays, it's going to be this, and that. Whereas, one, he had a good game. But secondly, I said this from early on. As soon as I seen that lineup, for me, United should have won that game. We were there for the taking.
Mm-hmm.
I said this at City when it got to the 1-1. United should have pressed on and won that game. Obviously, football is a game of if, buts, and maybes. And
I mean, Stro, 3 weeks ago when I sat here giving it the big un, bruv, yeah, and I was like, "We're gonna smoke you." You didn't say that. That's not what you said. You said we're a different. Your words were, "We're a different animal. It's a different beast. Anfield is a fortress. You're not gonna come here and win," and so on and so forth. That's what you were saying. You never said that you're there for the taking.
Yeah, but that was before Henderson was at centre back and stuff like that. When I seen the lineup specifically, and the fact that Matip played, or the Matip's trained for the past 3 weeks or the past 3 training sessions, Klopp normally goes, if you train with the first team twice, then you can start. So for me, I expected Matip to be in the
I hear what you're saying. I want to go to O'Shea on this because I get what you're saying. Matip not playing, that's why you wrote it off. But your team, O'Shea, have not scored in 3 games. You've got Firmino that hasn't been on the score sheet properly. He had a few games here and there, but he's been poor for nearly a year. Mane's had 3.5 months to forget. Why is it not clicking for your front three?
Because we need fresh players. It's as simple as that. The front three has been great. It's been world class for the past 3 years. But, we need something fresh. And Jota was that something fresh, and now he's injured. And I do think for every chance Salah and Mane's missed over the past few games, Jota probably would have scored a couple. So I do think we need some freshen up throughout the squad, not just in the attack, but I think we need a couple players in midfield. Maybe, obviously we need a centre back. There was I don't know if it's the hunger that's gone, but that fire, because it's like sloppiness in the final third, and we never had that from Mane or Salah. We've had it from Firmino a bit, but we know he's not a born striker. He's not got that killing sort of mentality in the attack, but we've never had it from Mane and Salah. And this season, I've seen it. It's like almost something like a light has sort of dimmed in them at the final third.
I think what's interesting. I think what's interesting about that is in the summer months, I remember being absolutely slaughtered by Liverpool fans for suggesting that's why you were looking at Timo Werner, and you ended up with Jota, who started off very, very well, because you do need to freshen it up. One thing that Fergie was famed for keeping his team winning was, he would bring in a new player, or, you got to think of the players he got rid of, barring Yap Stam, that was more to do with personal reasons, and Roy Keane. The amount of peak players that Fergie got rid of in their prime because he felt it was better for the team. It was never about Beckham or Kanchelskis or Paul Ince or Ruud van Nistelrooy not still being elite level footballers. It was, I want to move. I want to freshen something up. I want to keep
even your strikers. Look at the list of strikers you've had over the years. He would constantly just churn them out, and he'd get a Ruud van Nistelrooy out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? He'd go and get a Wayne Rooney. He'd go and get a Van Persie when he needed it. And for me, that's the frustrating thing, was the one person we brought in is now injured. He'd have been vital in a game like this.
I think the main.
O'Shea, I want to ask you a question here. Are you still confident that you're going to retain your Premier League title?
Look, I still remain confident because I know what my team can do, and I've seen what we can do this season in individual games. Against Palace, against Leicester, against Wolves, against Tottenham. So I'm of course I'm going to still be confident. I'm not going to come out and say, look, it's over. United could very well win the league. City could win the league. And I think right now we're probably the bottom of that pile in terms of favourites if you're going off recent form. But I'm confident we're going to retain the title. The transfer window isn't over. Jota's still got to come back, and I do think when he does come back, he mirrors kind of Pulisic in a way. If you look at when Chelsea signed Pulisic last season, he was all right when he came, and then he got injured for a while, and then they sort of dipped. And when he came back, he was on fire, and they sort of cemented that top 4 position. I kind of think Jota is kind of mirroring that sort of season. So when he comes back, we'll see what we do in the transfer window. But I'm confident we'll retain the title.
I hear that.
Terry,
We can't keep dropping these points though, because it's the same as 18-19. We kept getting draws. It wasn't the loss to City at the Etihad that lost us the league that season. It was the draws we got, and we can't keep drawing these games.
It's a lot of the points. Absolutely. O'Shea, thank you for coming on, mate. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Nick, to make your point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think when I look at, Stroh referenced the Man City Liverpool game at the Etihad. For me, you look at the second half of that game, and when I'm looking at this game, the Man City game, I'm looking in terms of looking forward, the title. The 90 minutes is cool. One team might win it or not. Man United could have won it because of Liverpool's lineup. But you look at that Man City Liverpool game. First half, Liverpool went like all for it. Man City, I think, pegged them back, got to 1-1. And the second half, both managers kind of said, "Yeah, we'll take a win, but we're not gonna go all guns out for it because there's points to be won and points to be dropped elsewhere. If we lose this game today, advantage Liverpool, advantage City. Liverpool can go on a run. Now they got top of the league, they can go on a run, get their confidence back. Same way with Klopp. He's like, if we lose this game, you could argue that we're third favourites for the Premier League at that point. So it's like, well, we're not going to go gung-ho for it either. Credit to Henderson, credit to Fabinho. But Liverpool at no point went gung-ho, and neither did Man United, because I think both managers are looking at the longer term.
Yeah, I hear that. But we're joined by Chucky. Chucky's back with us. Obviously, you're a United fan. Didn't get the win today, but we stayed top. Give me your thoughts, mate.
I can't lie. I'm kind of pissed, man. I'm pissed. And the reason why I'm pissed, basically, the way it's set up, I'm pissed for Ole more than anything else. The way we set up, the game plan that was quite evident, suck up pressure, don't concede in the first half, go 60 minutes, see what they got, which is nothing. He should have known that. That's why I'm annoyed. They've got nothing. And no offense to Liverpool out there. I mean, let's just call a spade out there. Your front three right now are trash. They need Manscaped. It looks like they've already used the 20% off because that's how much they're lacking. Bro, it's nuts. Your front three are shambolic as far as I'm concerned, yo. We should have taken you, and that's why I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because you were there for the taking, Liverpool, and I'm annoyed. It's almost like, you know what? There's game plans out there. Your players should follow game plans. I hear that. But the players should have felt we could have come and taken them. We should have gone out there and taken them. Fred was passed around in the entire first half. It settled a little bit more so in the second half. So that was a clear problem there. And I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed, man. Don't get it twisted. Top of the league, great. Liverpool, all that. Henderson, please, people, don't gas it up. Do not gas it up. Henderson, he played well. Shut up. He had nothing to do. How can you play well if you got 70% of the ball, the rest of it's behind you? He came forward. The only times when we did attack, where was Henderson? He wasn't to be seen. So don't be all that. He played well. We should have taken our chances. If we took our chances, would have put them to bed, and Klopp would have been rightfully embarrassed, man. That's why I'm pissed off, man. It was there for us to be taken. And again, it's just a case of I'm a bit annoyed, as in, here's another big stage that we should have taken. It felt like almost like a cup semi-final yet again. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be dramatic for it. It's a big stage, a good team. We should have taken it, man. We should have taken it. So I'm annoyed in that sense. I'll calm down tomorrow and look at it.
Yeah. The thing is, I get it. I get everyone's annoyance. During the game, I was screaming for Rashford to pass. I was screaming for Bruno. Why didn't you put more power on it? I was like, Pogba, why didn't you angle it better? But here's the issue, though. We are always going into these games. If we don't win, that's it. We're angry. Why? You know what I mean? Why is it always that the set like of our fan base right now? Do you not understand where we are? We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be going to Liverpool with a chance, but we are. So for me, Chucky, I'm shaking your head, but I'm being serious here. Like, look at it. Like, we need to stop looking at every game looking at the game by game all the time. This game is about the bigger picture. This game was always about the bigger picture, and we got through it.
I
Listen,
don't see what people.
I agree. I understand. Do you know what it is? I understand why people are frustrated because
Yeah.
Liverpool got what they've got as centre back. My view is this: if we opened up and actually, like people said, were more aggressive and opened up more, Liverpool would have countered and they could have beaten us, and then we'd have moaned that we were too gun ho. And this is the problem with assessing everything. And when you look forward, woulda, coulda, shoulda, if buts and maybes make sense. When you work backwards, you can't do that because it takes one change. You start the game with with Matic instead of McTominay, or Pogba not on that right. Who knows? It could have made us win, but it could have made us lost the game. And I understand why it's a little bit reminiscent of Sevilla with the 2 or 3 gilt-edged chances that are missed as an example. But do you know what we didn't do? We didn't then go and concede. We didn't then go and throw the game away and lose. And I think the players will be sitting in that dressing room feeling far more confident. And Gary Neville said something during the game which stood out to me, that he says, we're not being cavalier. The only way not being cavalier like we did will come back and bite you in the bum is if you go on to concede late, because then you may as well have gone for it. He said they walk away from this feeling confident. I'm going to trust Gary Neville because he went to Anfield on I don't know how many times, 15, 20 times in the league when chasing titles, and knows that this isn't a bad result. So for me, in the league, 18 games in, I'm okay with this. What we now need to do, though, where I'll become frustrated and where I will throw my toys out my pram, is if we go and drop points to Fulham and drop points to Sheffield United. You need to cement this positive result with 2 wins, and that puts you in a position where you win our next 2 games and we're guaranteed top. And hopefully in that, remember, Liverpool have got to play Tottenham. Liverpool ain't scored. A lot of Liverpool fans will try and deflect here. And I rate you Liverpool fans for this. You're going to deflect and say, I couldn't break down our back line that had 2 centre midfielders in. We brought on Origi, you brought on Cavani, levels. Bruv, you ain't scored in 3 games. I'm not worried about your banter, bruv. Like, your banter right now, I'm a condom, bruv. Like, it ain't getting through, bruv. I'm a condom. I've got a big condom on my head, right? I'm impervious to that, bruv. I ain't getting infected with your banter.
Can you say bruv. Most but Stroh? Yeah,
most Liverpool fans, barring Stroh. But there we go. Like, and I understand it, why you say it, but if I'm a Liverpool fan right now and I want to talk about both teams in this, I'd be concerned because you don't look that bad at the back. It's at the front. It's the not scoring goals that's costing you points. That's why I don't buy this Van Dijk situation. It ain't even like you're not attacking.
Yeah,
it really is.
Can I ask Stroh a question about your attack real quick? My opinion is these men are old. They're not, but I'm talking about 28, 29s, yeah? They're in their 30th year of living. So these men are old, they're past it, they've had their best 3 seasons that they could have had, yeah? These men are old, the front 3, they're old, yeah? Some of them want to move on, that's no secret. They were sick, they were world class. People can still say they're the best in the world. I want you as a Liverpool fan, I want your opinion. What is it because they're old? What's wrong with them? Why can't they score? They're missing, all of them, by the way. Getting pocketed, some of them missing. That guy Firmino, I don't even know what he's doing in the team, bruv. Yeah, but anyway, go on.
I've been calling Firmino out for the longest because although he's not a striker, to me that's not an excuse. To me, I don't see that as an excuse. There's chances where it's wrong decision making. Instead of using his left foot, he's trying to use the outside of his right foot and go opposite, and it's just like the decision making. And the same today, the decision making is just off. He's got Robertson on the overlap, and he's trying to take a shot. All he has to do when he gets played in is swing his left foot at it and go across goal, and he tries to cut inside. The problem I think Liverpool are having at the minute is the Van Dijk thing's not to me, I said the Van Dijk injury wouldn't be as bad as it was. My issue is you look at this game as a prime example, we can't sustain attacks. And that's where a lot of our openings, a lot of our creativity comes from. We find little gaps, do you know what I mean, where we pin teams in and then they open up slightly, them little gaps, and then them little free balls, and Mane's one-on-one. Now we're having to feed off scraps a bit because we're not sustaining attacks anymore. We don't look as potent going forward because.
But why is that? What's the reason?
Because us as a team and as a club didn't invest in a proper centre back, or two. So you keep Fabinho there.
Centre back is the reason to why.
I understand what they're saying, Alfie. You look at Man City last year. Yeah. They didn't replace Company. Laporte gets injured. Fernandinho moves into defense. Their defense wasn't bad, but you lose him in midfield. So effectively, they lose Fabinho in midfield. He's world class as a defensive midfielder.
You lose Henderson.
And for certain games, including today, they lose Henderson in midfield. Now, of course, Wijnaldum, Thiago, they're good players to great players. Curtis Jones is a talented, but over time you're gonna see the effects of that. But however, the front three, I think obviously Firmino, we know that he's not doing his job. I think there must be an element of fatigue after 3 years.
It's definitely fatigue,
but it's also mental as well.
Yeah, but both mental and physical.
Yeah, because what starts to happen is you miss one chance, you go 4, 5, 6, 7 games without scoring, and it gets into your psyche. You know, I look at Bruno, who's gone a few games now about scoring or assisting. He'll know in himself, he'll need to flush that out soon. He'll want to end that duct, as it were, and move things on. Boys, we're going to refresh the panel a little bit. Alfie, Stro, and Chucky, thanks you all for coming on, mate. We're going to open up to the general public as well. Thank you, boys, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you. Cheers, Alf, mate. We're going to throw Cam onto the stream here. We're going to bring Ram in, and we're going to bring Zayn in as well. I want to go to Zayn first. You were very confident you were going to smoke us, Zayn. Liverpool weren't firing, though. What's wrong with your team?
Firmino, bruv. That brother needs to be. I'm sorry, I don't know why he's playing. If you're not going to score goals, at least contribute. Do you know what I mean? And he's been lacking for enough games, man. And I'm getting tired of this, right? I just need a change. We need Jota's injured, but put Minamino and Origi. I mean, come on, you're violating Origi. 5 minutes. What's he going to do? 5 minutes. He's not Superman. Do you get me? So Firmino has to take a break because everyone keeps talking about a defensive thing, right? But as you guys have been calling out, the real problem Liverpool have, because we haven't skidded that many goals considering centre back issues, we've not been scoring goals, and goals wins you games. And I'm sorry, a decent proper number 9 would have put away 2 of those Firmino chances. Do you know what I mean? We should have been 2-0 first half. So fundamentally,
that's what you're putting it down to. How about by the way, there's a super chat here from DJ says, Terry, you're wrong. If you win both your games and City win both their games, then they go top. Okay, City are not going to play both their games in hand by the time we finish playing Fulham and Sheffield United. I very much doubt they're going to play 4 games in the space of a week. So I hear your point. At the end, it is advice. That's why I said earlier it's advantage City. But City have still got to win those games in hand, and City are still going to drop points. It's very, very close. But I hear you. Mathematically, you're right, but that wasn't the point I was making. But I hear you. Cam's with us. Half the United panel are happy with the point. Pleased with the performance, a little annoyed but didn't win. You've had Alfie on, we've had Chucky on that are really frustrated. Where do you sit on the debate?
I said at the start, I called a draw. I'm happy with the point. It's a point gain. I'm looking at the big picture. I have been from the start. And I'm not just looking at big picture in this year. I'm looking at big picture in the progress of the last 3 years of the Ollie project. Like coming into Anfield in year 2, I guess now for Ollie, and expecting us to go there and thrash them was naive, and I'm happy we didn't play that way because we would have been caught out. We did exactly what we had to do. We had our chances, we didn't take them. That's soccer. We had the better chances. That's why I'm actually some people are upset because we had the better chances and we didn't score them. I'm actually feeling better about it because I'm like, you know what? It happens sometimes. If you're gonna say Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world and then not be like, oh, Alisson stopped a great chance on Bruno, it's gotta be levels, right? If Alisson's the best keeper in the world, that's probably why we didn't come away with something today, because he was immense. Those 2 saves were nice. I know Pogba put it right at him, but those are reaction saves. That's a split second. There are 100 keepers out there that let both those goals in. Just like waffled on 2 massive chances. Neither side took their chances. We came out with a point gained away at Anfield. I'm good. Like I'm calm.
Yeah, and that Pogba shot, if you look it back, he had no time to think about where to play it. He just had to shoot.
But KJ, you know what? Somebody says if you don't get that on target, then people go crazy. If all you have to do with that shot is do exactly what he did. You put it on target, you put pace on it, you give us a chance of something happening there. But Alisson was great, and I'm gonna give credit to where it's due. And it's Fabinho had 2 interceptions in that game that saved goals. There was one in the third where everybody was like, "Oh, that ball should have moved quicker." Fabinho came out of nowhere behind Bruno. Amazing. He played great.
I love your attitude towards this. And it's something I've always said about football. I get the in-the-moment frustration. We always say it. Pogba should have scored. Rashford should have played the pass. It's a hindsight move, because if David De Gea pulls off the Alisson saves, wow, De Gea, you're a legend. Yeah. If Maguire especially if Bailly was playing, and got turned inside out by a Fabinho run, and then recovered and caught back up with Salah and tackled him, you'd be like, that's why he's got to start. Because that's the mindset. You're not looking at it objectively at all. It's a subjective feeling because you want to win a football match. And for me, like, I'm disappointed we didn't do it. I would have been more angry if we hadn't have laid a glove on them. That way you would have been
drew and the performance was poor. I would have been pissed.
I've been
But
pissed.
it's a good performance. I understand the frustration about why we didn't win, but I'm like, overall, we played well. We weathered the storm and went forward.
Ollie, I haven't seen the actual comments, but according to the Devil's Advocate here, Ollie has come out and said that we didn't deserve the point and that we didn't play well. He thinks that it's a positive sign.
So.
And I think that, yeah, I mean, do you know what? But I expect Ollie to say, Ollie, for me, he's not charismatic, but he does say generally the right. Sometimes he gets his words a bit tongue-tied, but the message, if you're not being biased, is normally quite clear in what he says. You don't want to overly gas a draw, because if he's there going, yeah, we got a draw, everyone's going to say it's small mentality. He knows what he see privately, though. He's happy with that draw.
Let me say the quote exactly. He says it was opportunity missed with the chances we had, but then again, we're playing a very good side. I'm disappointed, but it's still a point. But still, a point is okay if you win the next one.
Yeah, and that's the point. You cement it. Ram, I'm going to come to you next. I want to go to a few of the callers that have phoned in. Monsieur Ahmed, regular super chatter on the Football Terrace. Monsieur, welcome back to the channel. What did you make of your team's performance tonight? And why can't you score goals at the moment?
I think what Klopp needs to look at is how to reignite that spark in the front three. I understand what Neeks and who was it last? I think Stroll said, where because of our defenders, we're having to kind of be wary, not to go all out. But that's the main part. Because I think, for me, Henderson and Fabinho as a makeshift defenders were good today. They were good. They did their job, and most of the time Rashford kept the line. Rashford kept on going offside, so I thought they did very well in defense. It's just that reigniting that spark in the front three. I think in the start of the season, Jota was that sign of, like, you know, we can change our front three around. We can have that bit of fluidity, bit of difference. But yeah, it's just focusing on that, see how we can get the best. I thought Shaqiri had a poor game, if I'm honest. For me, I thought he's always an impact player off the bench, but it is a point gain for United, and probably a fair result in the reflection of the game, and we just got to move on and just keep our heads up, really. That's what it is. That's all I can say.
I hear that. Monsar, thank you very much, not just for calling, but all your contributions to the Football Terrace, mate. Really means a great deal to me. Thank you, my brother. I think as well, before I do that, a few little bits of admin for us. Please hit that like button. We tried to get to a 50% ratio whenever we're streaming live, 3,500 people. Let's get this past 1,000 likes, please. I know most people forget to do it. Sign up to our Discord server. The link for that is in the description below. And we are sponsored this weekend by Manscaped. You get a 20% discount. The link for their website is below. Go and check it out. I'm going to show you the box again because we're a little bit later on in the show. I've got to put myself in big again here. I'm going to show you the box again here. This is their ultimate package. It's £180, but it's reduced to £99 at the minute. Plus, you get 20% discount from the Football Terrace, right? Comes with a lovely pair of boxer shorts. You get the clipper. This thing's great. I'm going to try and get it out of the packet, right? I haven't used this, by the way. It wouldn't be back in the box if I did. That'd be great. This is the little thing. It's got a little LED light on it. You can shave yourself up. No nip, if you know what I'm saying. No cuts there. And these are my favorite things. You've got ball toner and you've got ball deodorant. I did try it. And I tell you, I was pretty hot during that football match. Fresh as a daisy. Trust me, gentlemen. Brother Arf is going to love it. Go to Manscaped's website. They do numerous other things as well. But go get signed up. Go get it done. Trust me, she's going to think you're a sturd boy. And your balls are going to thank you. 110%. We're going to go to Ram next. I want to do these super chats first. Allison, best attribute is his position, is what Ryan Black has said. I hear you. And that's why the shots sometimes are straight at him. You're absolutely right. Zachary here says, every Liverpool supporter needs to calm down. We are in the title race. This is our bump in the road after a very busy January period. We'll be fine. I think Liverpool can turn it. When you've got the best manager in the world, you've got to have confidence of turning it around, don't you? Jesse here says, Cam is right. I was disappointed about the missed chances, but I feel content with the result. Up the terrace, up United. We move on to Fulham. Thank you for that wonderful donation. Letting go of Brewster was a mistake. I mean, I'm not saying Sheffield United are playing good football or anything, but I've watched about 6 Sheffield United games where Brewster's played. He's
a
a
bit half
young
and half.
striker and would have been helpful to Liverpool this season. Maybe he would have done, but that's something to have a go at your board about. Scott McTominay was a big weak link for United today.
No, I don't agree with that. I thought he had a pretty good game today.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I mean, in terms of what you expect, if you're saying he didn't play like Xavi, yeah, you're right, he was crap. But did Scott McTominay do what Scott McTominay is meant to? The only real bad mistake he made was when the ball was flat and he played that pass and I was about to lose it. And then Thiago picked up and said the ball's burst. And I'm like, all right, I'll let you off that one, Scotty Mac. But I thought his distribution was okay for him. Like, I thought he did an okay job in that position, got himself about, nullified things. How is a 0-0 against no defenders a good result? It's called context. It's called context, brother. We nullified the best attack in the world. We nullified the best manager in the world. It was your goalie's brilliant saves that stopped you from losing. We go into the Fulham game, top of the league. You're still 3 points behind us. And we're run by a PE teacher. So you might be laughing at no defenders, but we've got a PE teacher.
I don't see
a manager.
Wait, listen, I don't see how Liverpool fans are trying to flip it onto us, saying that it's embarrassing that we didn't beat them. What are you guys talking about, bro?
No, KJ, just on that, it's because Alfie and Chucky, them man are busting bear smoke. Oh, watch what's going to happen during the 17th. What happened?
So were you, bro. So were you. You man on the same gas. It's more embarrassing that your Liverpool team, champions of England, best home record in the Premier League, couldn't beat the Fridge, Homer Simpson, an adulterer, and a freaking fake Scandinavian, a fake Viking, bro. That's embarrassing. How is it? How are we getting it, bro? I don't get
right about what you said, KJ. I've been watching previews all week. There's a video I made I can't release now because Man United didn't win. I was so proud of it. But everywhere I was looking, you had Man United. The Ollie outers were doing it, and the Man United haters were doing it. It was such an obvious thing. There for the taking. We should smash them. We should do this, do that. I watched ESPN, Sky, all saying the same thing, that Man United should be going there. There's no fans. It's a benefit to United. It's going to be this. Also, they could say what Liverpool fans are now saying, that, it's so embarrassing you didn't beat. How comes no other team that's failed? Liverpool lost one game all season. Nobody else has been called embarrassed. It's not been called embarrassing when Pep Guardiola couldn't beat this Liverpool team. But yet we suddenly can't beat them with their injury problems. And it's the worst result in the history of the world. In two things. One, when everybody's saying City are the favourites for the title, now Liverpool have dropped off. And secondly, that we shouldn't even be up near the top end of the table. So what is it? A Man United, a good team at the top of the table that should be expected to beat this Liverpool team? Or are we over-egging it? Are we overrating? You can't be those two things at once.
What is it? Zane, tell me what it is then.
I'll tell you this, right? It's your fans gassing it too much, bruv. They've been gassing it, and that's why everyone's like, "Oh, what are you saying now?" And that's what it is.
Let me address the gas. Let me address the gas here. The gas is, it's been a 4-day party, bruv. We know we're ahead of schedule in terms of we should be top of the league,
only 4 days.
It's been a 4-day party since we went top. We're just having a laugh with it. In our heart of hearts, of course, we wanted to beat you. Of course, there was a chance we could have beaten you. We still know in the cold light of day, maybe other than Alfie, maybe, that you're a better team than us and have a better squad than us and have a better manager than us. That's why we're enjoying it, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you got an argument now on the street with Anthony Joshua and you landed a quick one on his jaw and you accidentally knocked him out, you wouldn't want to fight him again. But you'll
pick it up, yeah.
Of course you would.
Every man will know about it.
Right now, that's what we're doing. I've just, Amir Khan's just sparked here. AJ, he's in the BMW driving away quick, right? But that's what I've done, bro.
So Zane, if it's embarrassing that Man United didn't beat Liverpool today, what does that make you then?
Right. Again, let's get the context right. I said for the amount of gas, a lot of Man United fans were saying, we're going to do this to you. We're going to blah, 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 break your record, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? And then that was a performance to back up that big talk. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, in context, actually the reality of what the game is. Both teams near the end play for the point.
But how is it embarrassing? Fans are supposed to be getting gassed. How is it embarrassing?
Not to that level, bro. Not to that level, man.
Listen, Zane. The way that your fans have spoke about this Man United team, the way that 5 rivals have spoke about this Man United team, spoke about Ollie, spoke about Pogba, all these players. How is it embarrassing that we didn't get the win where you're better than us?
It isn't.
Don't forget about Bruno. Where was Bruno today, bruv? Where was he?
Where was he?
Where were your players?
Where was Mane? Where's Firmino? Where was Salah? Where
You
was
can't-
QPR, bro?
Firmino.
Zane,
Stop, man.
you're in no position today to throw salt at any of our poor performers because you had the best left attacking player and the best right attacking player in that your fans in the world in the last 3 years did absolutely nothing. Bruno didn't have a great game. Nearly got the match winner, and he had a free kick which just went wide. So at least he had a couple of moments where he nearly did stuff. At least, I want to say this as well. I was watching ESPN, and there was a moment in it where I think it was Frank Leboeuf was talking about how we can't credit Man United this season.
Yeah,
for the top of the league because of the pandemic, no fans. It's like it's false. And in fairness, I don't know the guy's name. He's a slightly big-boned American-Italian dude.
Gab Marcotti.
Yeah, him. He turned around and said, so by your logic, and he absolutely silenced Leboeuf. Leboeuf was silent for about 8 seconds. He went, so by your logic, we shouldn't criticize this season's abnormal and we shouldn't be criticizing Liverpool for dropping off. By your logic, we shouldn't be criticizing Man United for going out of the Champions League early. And he just sort of went, it was that gotcha moment, a bit like Jordan Peterson's famous Channel 4 interview. He just basically went, yeah, he got me there. And that's because people are backtracking to try and not credit Man United. And that's the realization we've got to have. Paul Ross here says, here's a fact to Liverpool fans. Champions League means nothing if you can't win the Premier League on a consistent basis over the years, like United and Chelsea can do it for the next 20 years. Nope, I don't buy it. There's a few more, and then we're going to get some more callers on because I know there's loads of people waiting to come and have their say. Nabil here says, Zayn, best attack in the world, had 0 shots on target in the second half. Man United was the better team for the last 15 minutes, first half and second. We missed our chances. Yeah. Absolutely right. Yeah. And the devil's advocate says, Zayn, we still had more shots on target than this apparent best Liverpool team of the Premier League era. And I think that's the deflections there for that reason. We're going to throw onto the show now. We're going to give Realistic Gunner an opportunity here. Realistic Gunner, unmute yourself and we'll get you on if you're there, if you can hear me. There we go. Realistic Gunner, what do you want to say, bro?
Terry, it's Laurie. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you doing, mate?
I'm not even going to talk. I'm leaving you to my son, Liverpool supporter. I just literally wanted to come on for him to have his say on today's events.
And you're an Arsenal fan, right? So you're an Arsenal fan and your son's a Liverpool supporter, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. That's right, Zay.
Just calling it out there.
All I'm basically going to say is I'm not happy. I'm fumed. What is going on?
What are you not happy with, young man?
How did we not beat you? How? What is going on?
I hear you. What do you think the issue is? Is it your front three at the moment, or is it Jurgen Klopp's tactics?
It's not Jurgen Klopp. He's fine with his tactics. It's the front three. Since we beat Palace 7-0, they think that we're just going to score with the midfielders. They think they don't need to help the midfielders score.
Do you need to go out and buy a striker in January?
I hear that. Do you think you need to go and buy someone? Does SFG need to put his hand in their pocket and go and buy someone?
Yep. Right now. If we could, I would take Mbappe. I would take Sancho. I would swap the whole front three rounds.
The whole front three. Listen, Laurie, your little one knows what you're talking about there. Listen, thanks for coming on the show and having your say, young man.
All right, bless up. Yeah, thanks for that. Love for that.
Of course, man. Not a problem at all. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. A few people asking, I thought you had to be over 16. Listen, if you're under 16 and you're with your parent, I can take your call. I can chat to you, bro. Like, understand why I can't speak to minors without their parents' permission. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, you didn't let me speak and I'm under 16. Get your dad to phone me and I'll let him do it. You know what I mean? Or your mum. She's got my number. What do you want to say, Zane?
You're muted.
I have to mute you because Zane's loud.
All right. I'm muted, right? What about this FSG out talk that's going on? It's starting to happen. There's like I'm not joking, bro. I'm not joking, bro.
Hey, you're smoking, bro.
I'm not joking, right? I was on a copy the other day, right? And Drifty came out with it. He says, if the ball FSG don't buy a defender, whatever, he's officially FSG out.
No, but the thing
he said that, bro.
Drifting's different.
No. There's another fan.
No. You talk about context about everything, yeah? Drifty's been calling out FSG for a time.
Yeah.
He's not. It's not like a reactionary thing. What you're talking about, Zaid, is reactionary fans saying FSG out. Drift is the only one I remember that said, and O'Shea, that you need to question them, man. If you don't,
You know what it is? You know what it comes down to? I think I was talking. Who was I talking to about? I was talking to me and Adam. Charles were talking earlier on today, and I was saying how if Man United win the league this year, he's like, well, how are you going to feel if you win the league? And I'm like, what I need to stop myself from getting into the mindset of is that we're going to have a Fergie era where for 10, 15 years, we're going to be winning the league twice, then miss out, and then twice, and then miss out, and then 3 times, and then miss out. I think that era is gone. And I think we're going to go back to a period in time. And it's more to do with money. And I know Chelsea and City and United have more than anybody else, and Liverpool. But clubs are earning hundreds of millions of pounds in TV money now, like Burnley. So it's harder to buy players off teams. Back in the day, Jack Grealish, another man like him, wouldn't still be at their clubs 2-3 years into their Premier League life. They'd have been gone ages ago. The big teams would have eaten them up. I think that you need to temper yourselves as Liverpool fans, because I think what Drifty wants is, I want to be winning the league every year, be there or thereabouts. I think we could go for a period where over a 10-year period, 6 different teams win the league. I think we could also go for a period where you could be the best team in England this season in first, but come 5th the following year, but still only be 8 points off the top. I think we're going to go for a period where fans are going to have to learn to be far more patient with their football clubs. And I do hear a lot. I remember Aaron saying it. I want us to be more like Bayern Munich. You're never going to be able to get a Bayern Munich model completely to work in the UK because there's no monopoly. And unless there's a monopoly, you can't dominate like that. So we need to temper it. Fergie era not coming again. Not why the only way it's going to happen for that way for the big clubs. The big clubs get what they want, and they get a much bigger percentage of the TV money. If Man United and Liverpool are getting 400 million a year and Burnley only get 50 million, then you will see a monopoly within 2 or 3 years. But till that point,
that's why we've seen a monopoly in Spain for so years, or duopoly even, where Real Madrid and Barcelona can negotiate their own TV deals, and obviously they're going to get pretty much 80% of everything that La Liga gets. That's come down a little bit in the last few years. They've renegotiated the TV. And I mean, it's no surprise for me why we're seeing more competitive La Ligas in the last couple of seasons, especially this year. So, if we do you want the Premier League to be the best, or do you want our team to run the
exactly? So you just and look, I understand it's bittersweet for the big clubs. It's the big clubs that have grown the global audience, which is what So Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Spurs have the biggest global fan base, which means TV stations in certain countries buy the rights, and it's benefiting the Burnleys and everybody else. But actually, if you were just a neutral, like my brother's a Leyton Orient fan, he's like, this Premier League season is amazing. That's all he keeps saying, like, because he doesn't care who wins it. So I would say that, and a lot of people consume football like that. They're customers as opposed to having a deep-rooted love for the club. I've got friends of mine in the States that support Man United, but they're never upset if we lose. They're just like, it's okay, we'll come back next week, because they don't consume football like I do. So we have to be understanding of that. I think we're going to go to some quick fire callers now. First up on the show, actually, we've got some super chat. I've got loads of super chats. Jeez. First one says, do Liverpool fans not know about SFG's model? I'm an American fan. You should see their strategy with the socks. They won't spend big like United, City, Chelsea.
It's big though, because we spent a lot of money for like the likes of Van Dijk, Alisson, Fabinho, Jota.
I think you must mean like the reason why you spent big is because you had the Coutinho money and other things around. I think he's talking about, when you're talking about base level, you guys you guys choose not to spend as much as you could compared to the other teams.
Like the Mbappe thing. I think the Mbappe deal can happen, but you're gonna have only if you get big money for either Mane or Salah, or maybe both. Let's throw some more callers in here. We're gonna go to Navin first of all. Navin, welcome back to the show. What do you want to say, mate?
Hi, Jerry. I think we are still in the false position, right on top.
I like this caller.
We're in a false position on top. You're being sarcastic, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, come on, man.
I like him. Yeah, listen, bro. I hear that. I mean, how are you feeling after the draw? Some United fans, I'm sure there's going to be some United fans out there ranting and raving tonight like the world's coming to an end. How do you feel?
For me, I think during the game, I was so pissed. They missed the chances. We didn't pass the ball fast enough. We didn't move the ball quickly enough to their third. But then to discuss on the context of it, I think it's a good draw because we silenced the best two players. I mean, best front three in the world, and we had more shots on target, more clinical shot on targets compared to Liverpool. I think De Gea was sitting there having a coffee. He didn't make any big saves. Other than that, Lindelof was very good today. I mean, I was fuming when I saw him on the lineup, but he made a very good clearance, I think, on the second half, exactly like Eric Bailly.
Yes, he did, and it led to a counter attack as well. Naveen, thank you very much for coming on and having your say, mate. Thank you very much.
I just quickly touch upon the game. I thought it was a deserved draw at the end. Like, we as Liverpool had a couple of chances. I remember one stands out in my mind. It was whenever we got into the box, we kept on touching the ball too many times. The touches in the box was just frustrating me. Like, Firmino had a couple. Salah, normally I think it was a ball from I think it was Shaqiri, played it into Salah, and Salah didn't take it first time. He just took too many touches, and then ends up Maguire and Lindelof sweeping up in the defense. I think for me, this front three, I've seen throughout the whole game and in the last couple of weeks, the connection is not there anymore. Like, we remind the fans about the connection. They always play well together simultaneously, and now we can't see that.
Cycles.
And maybe it is a time to start getting some different players in. Like,
it is, bro. About maybe.
Well, I think it's interesting, really, because every time, again, there's a rumor that Mo Salah wants to leave, where he's going to go. I've loved the naivety of Liverpool fans now for a year. No, not happening. No, nonsense. Well, what about just refreshing it anyway? Why would we refresh it? They're the best. They're still in their prime. Because every top team in the history of football has done that. Why suddenly do you think, like, laws of physics do not apply to this very good to great Liverpool team? It's a madness. Stephen's with us now. Stephen, what do you want to say, mate?
Well, I think for all the hype we were giving it was sort of a bit of a letdown in terms of the game, to be honest. I mean,
definitely for a neutral.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, and I would also say that it sort of went how I felt it would have went, which is Man United were going to go there setting up not to lose. Right? They were going to get out there because for them, not losing would be more beneficial than to Liverpool drawing that game. So if they could then nick it on the counter, that would have been brilliant. And actually, to be fair, if my honest opinion, though both teams had some equal chances thereabouts, I think Man United could have been going away with the chances, clear-cut chances they had, going out thinking they could have won that game. I mean, Alisson, for me, gets a shout-out as man of the match. I mean, some of the key saves he made in that game were clinical, and it shows why he's still the best goalkeeper in the league. So, yeah. So, for a Liverpool perspective, I would be worried as a Liverpool fan. And the thing is, I mentioned you earlier before, Terry, is that we might be forgetting this is halfway through the season. This is one out of we still got the reverse fixture at Old Trafford. So say we're still at the same situation with 4 games to go at Old Trafford. All right, things can turn up here and there and there. But
well, listen, if we're 3 points in front of Liverpool in a title race, go at 4, it's benefit to us, in my opinion. We're over the hoodoo not winning there. We're going to go to the last couple of callers here. Indiana, just have you say for us, mate.
I'll be honest, I'm pissed off. I'm not happy at all. Like, this isn't anything. No, but I'll tell you why I'm pissed off. I'll tell you why I'm pissed off, right?
Cavani
I'm pissed off because no, it's got nothing to do with Cavani not starting. It's our decision-making in the final third and the transition. It's nothing new. We weren't nullified by Liverpool. It's nothing new. We're just not clicking. Like, I get players have a bad game. Maybe Rashford's playing too much. We forget he's a young kid. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't be putting pressure on him anyway, I don't think. But our decision-making, that's why I'm annoyed, because it's great. A point away at Anfield is incredible. But in the context of the game, I just feel we could have nicked that. We could have nicked that game. And I feel we should have.
Yeah, I completely get that, but for me, when I look at it, the chances you had in terms of building up your play, I think there are a couple of moments where the likes of Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago just cut it out of play. Wijnaldum as well. I think it's just a mix of both of us defending really well.
Do you know what?
Sorry.
Go on, mate, go on.
No, I'm gonna say I get the frustration. It's just that we had three Man United fans coming here already, and they're pissed off. And I'm like, I'm being frustrated, disappointed.
It's because it's what the game is, Neeks. It's what the game is. It's Man United, Liverpool, and like I want to beat them. I want to beat them.
No,
I
want to but context.
I want to beat them as well. I want to beat them as well. And I get that. I think we can end up over-analyzing this one. Like I said, my frustrations when we played Chelsea and more so City is I didn't feel like we I said, like, but I'll go back to my words. I can only assess a game when I give out an expectation before we play. I can only assess it based on how the team delivered against what I wanted. And I said, if we don't counter-attack in numbers to try and win, then I'll be annoyed. And we did. Now, we didn't quite have the final finishing touch to kill the game off. That bit's frustrating, but I'm not throwing baby out. I've been saying it all week. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater because we did majority of things well. And, if Pogba's shot was a little bit better, if Bruno maybe had a bit more pace on his shot, or if Bruno would have scuffed his shot a little bit, it would have gone through the goalie's legs. It was that close for us. Yeah. But we can take this forward. It's a positive result. And I think we move on. We've got Rome. Rome's going to have the final say here. What are you saying, bro?
We're top of the league.
Oh, my days.
No, so, bro, it's 17th of January, bro. And Manchester United is the top of the league. So I don't know about you Manchester United fans, but for me, that shit is orgasmic. I don't know about you guys, but that's where busting the nut. But honestly, I really wanted to. I came on because I wanted to talk about something earlier when he asked about what's going on with Liverpool and their front three. And I think we take for granted professional athletes and when they get burnt out and the effect it has on them. You got to understand, this man has been playing with Klopp and his system for 3 years now, right? And when the body goes, the mind goes, and it seems like they're not creating as much as they did last year or the previous year. They're not doing the things they used to do because these men are burnt, bro. The coffee is run dry, bro. Liverpool's system needs you to run. That's all it needs. It needs you to be working hard, very hard in the midfield and up front. And if your body goes as a professional athlete, you should know your mind goes as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe sorry, Ram. Maybe with all of these tests they've got to do now, maybe Liverpool are not in the position to be taking them performance enhancing stuff. No, I'm investing. But listen, but you know what I love about hearing that, and you're so right, is everybody told Liverpool fan this would happen. It was that it will burn. You can't play with that level of intensity. Even in a singular game, as an example, when Leipzig beat us recently, they deserved to beat us. Yeah. The opening 20 minutes, the way they outplayed us was it was crazy. It was on fire. If we wouldn't have conceded those 2 goals, and I know it's an if, but, and a maybe, I think we would have gone on to beat them because they didn't knacker themselves out. But at the end of it, we then started bossing them. But they had something to hold on to and fight for. And that's just how it is. Liverpool's football for the last 2.5 years has been at 1,000,000 miles an hour, intense pressing. There's going to come a point, especially as they say, SFC don't spend as much money. That's what some of the super chatters have said. You burn the candle at both ends and eventually you run out of wick and wax. And that's all that's going on here. But listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. We're going to be live again after the Man City Palace game. Midnight Vibes tonight at midnight as well. At midnight Vibes. But as I've said to you already, we're sponsored this weekend by Manscaped. I really need your help. I need you to go onto their website. I need you to go and buy some products from them for us. Use our promo code TFT. This is the best one here. And what I do, if they sign us up permanently, I'm going to give this bad boy away, right? I'm going to give one of these away. This is the best bit. It's your ball toner. Tones up your balls, right? It's all good. I don't know what.
I've never heard of a ball toner.
I've never heard of that.
Right? And here's your clippers. And the grist, let me put that out again. Got a little plastic lip on it. That stops it catching. It's very good. Do you want very, very good. Got the little light on there in case you're very hairy and you've got to see through it. I don't know what the light's on there for. Who showers in the dark? It's waterproof as well, but there we go. Get it done. Get on the website now. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the Football Terrace this weekend. It means a great deal to us. It really, really does. Use promo code TFT. We had a couple of super chats come through while I was showing off the Dolphin Nose Kit. It says it's actually called the Lawnmower 3.0. And also another thing they sent me, I use this today on my nose though, right? It's the Weed Whacker. So if you get airy nose, airy ears, use the Weed Whacker. Get this bought. It's cheap. You get 20% off of my code. Yes, at the moment, Liverpool are dead, but some fans need to calm down. I believe Mo will go in the summer and maybe get Mbappe or a centre-back. I would love Mbappe to come for one reason, because Liverpool fans also tried selling us this idea a year ago that they don't buy superstars. I swear you can't. I would love, do you know what? Do you know why I'd love it? I wouldn't love it as a United fan. I'd love it from a social media point of view to see how they spin it as him not being a superstar, because they will spin it. They will spin it. And they'll try and point out something like, I don't know, someone associated to Klopp did a coaching session with Mbappe when he was 8 and it was an investment. They'll try and spin it with some madness like that, bro.
It's all predestined, all ordained. Yeah.
How old is Mbappe now?
I know, 20.
22.
You can probably just say he's not at his prime yet.
Yeah, so he can't be a superstar. There we go. Listen, everyone who's nobody says Liverpool fans are so rattled when their girls are top of the league. They think about Man United when their girls on top. When their girls on top. Listen, most of these men that are rattled don't have girls. But if you haven't got a girl, make sure you're shaving your ball bags and make sure you're using the ball deodorant. This stuff smells. It smells good as well, and it keeps you fresh, bruv. Fresh, trim, and a lot of geezers, especially like from like East London, all the urban areas and the council estates where I'm from. Everyone's like, "No, bruv, I'm doing that, bruv. Batty, bruv. I ain't back." Trust me, do it once. The girl will be like, "Oh my god, trust me."
Should we say 10 out of 10 for Terry Salesman?
Yeah, there we go. We're sponsored. I got to do it. Someone's paid us to do it. By the way, what I will say to the audience is this: if we ever land like a permanent big sponsor, there'll be less adverts in my videos. And I know that they annoy some people. So by hitting like buttons and by helping us with our sponsors, you help the show and everything else. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God